Hello and welcome to this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks for joining us. Sustainability. It's become a popular buzzword in the beef industry over the last several years. But what does it really mean and who does it impact? Beef industry experts set out to conduct a first-of-its-kind study funded by the Beef Checkoff, analyzing the sustainability of our industry from gate to plate. It's called the Beef Industry Sustainability Assessment, and it's providing some important science-based information about beef production. Today, we're fortunate to have some experts here in the studio with us to discuss some of those key findings. And joining us in the studio is Dr. Kim Stackhouse-Lawson. She's the Director of Sustainability Research and Manager of the Beef Sustainability Research Project for NCBA, a contractor, of course, to the Beef Checkoff. Dr. Bo Reagan. He's the Senior Vice President of Research, Education, and Innovation for NCBA, a contractor to the Beef Checkoff. And Scott George, the current NCBA President and also a dairy farmer and cow-calf producer from Cody, Wyoming. Thank you all for coming to the show and being with us today. Now, before we jump into our discussion, let's take a little bit of time to better understand what sustainability is and why it's important to our industry.
It's a first-of-its-kind look at the sustainability of our great industry. The beef industry now has information about our sustainability from cradle to grave. The Beef Checkoff-funded assessment provides a benchmark for the industry to monitor progress toward a more sustainable future. The preliminary results were rolled out in January to industry leaders. Those results show that the beef industry has an exciting opportunity to, for the first time, tell its story of sustainable beef production backed by science. The first ever beef industry sustainability assessment shows progress made over past decades. The assessment measures beef's contribution to the U.S., utilizing environmental, economic, and social measurements.
As we better understand the consumer and understand that this is a concern of theirs, this whole arena of sustainability, and that we are not just sort of sticking our head in the ground, that we are in fact acting on it, is pretty positive and speaks, I think, speaks volumes for our industry, that we are proactive, that we are trying to get in front of the issues that are facing our protein.
I think most of us recognizes that we're in this thing together. You know, it's not about the cow-calf or feeders or packers or the retailers. It's about delivering the best product to the consumer in the most sustainable way. And I think that's really the core message that we have here, is that each of the sectors have opportunities to improvement, but as we become more efficient together, then that's where the big impacts are going to be.
To date, no other industry has completed a holistic life cycle assessment on its full production chain. Beef producers are now positioned to lead the discussion with other protein groups, consumers, non-governmental organizations, and other influencers.
I'm actually really encouraged to see this effort going on. I think it's critically important, and I think that this is an example of where the beef industry is a leader. The others will follow. The other livestock sectors will follow. Dairy has done a lot of work too, more focusing on carbon footprint. The beef industry is looking more at the whole sustainability area, including carbon footprint, but not limiting itself to it. And so what I really appreciate about this project is the complexity. It really looks across many different areas, and that's a game changer. I think the US beef industry can establish itself as a leader, not just in this country, but even globally, in establishing indicators for sustainability.
The big picture is, and it's part of the game, is that it's not only feeding people now, it's making sure that we can also feed people 10 years from now, and 50 years from now, and 100 years from now. And so it's a process of thinking, as Bob Budd, a rancher in Wyoming, says, learning to think at the pace of rocks and mountains while learning to act in our own lifetimes.
To learn more about the preliminary results of the Beef Industry Sustainability Assessment, visit beefresearch.org.